Hey, good morning, Tranya and friends. This is Pastor Sue, and welcome to today's episode of Patio Ponderings. This is the second episode in season 2, and I'm so glad you could join me on this beautiful fall day. I am again on the patio at church, but I have some fun relics of the past to share with you today. You may or may not know that my husband recently retired about a year ago after 36 years with AT&T and doing cellular system design. And so we have seen up close and personal the changing technology in cell phones. And so I've got some funds. Remember how they started? You used to carry them. And sometimes they had an antenna you could put up on your car, right? These are some of the first portable phones. They started getting a little smaller. Ooh, who remembers the flip phone, right? They're back in style. And we went through a season where the smaller the better, right? The ability to call each other and to talk to each other has changed dramatically. In fact, so often now phones aren't even about calling each other. We have the world at our fingertips on our telephones now. We can access the internet and all kinds of information, and it can be overwhelming. And this is what I've been thinking about after our story on Sunday. Interesting tie-in, right? The changing technology of communication with a Bible story. Imagine that. So our story on Sunday was the call of Abraham, when God reaches out to Abraham, and this happens. The Lord said to Abraham, "Leave your land, your family, and your father's household for the land I will show you. I will bless those who bless you. Those who curse you, I will curse, and all the families of the earth will be blessed because of you." So I wonder, Abraham's world was probably a little smaller than our world is for us today, and he probably had no problem figuring out that it was God talking to him, God calling him to leave where he'd been living, and at 75 years old, move to a new land, start a new life, and a new purpose, to be a blessing to others. But with all the information and communication that we are subject to today, we hear so many voices in our lives. We hear the voices of our friends and family and our co-workers, of course, but we have constant bombardment of voices from advertising and marketing, cultural voices, political voices, social voices, religious voices. And so many of those voices are coming into our lives at breakneck speed with all different messages, calling us to be this way or that way, calling us to do this or to do that. How in all of those voices then do we hear the voice of God? And that's what I've been wondering about this week. I think it can be a challenge for us. These voices we hear in our world are real, and they are loud. This is the very question that we talked about with our council as part of our devotion. And we got some really interesting answers. So one person talked about the need for silence, to step back and to quiet everything, to be able to listen for God. One person talked about using their understanding of who Jesus is from Scripture to hold up against the voices that they're hearing from their lives, to know what they're hearing, if it's from God or not. So what about you? How do you hear the voice of God in this world with the competition of so many voices? Do you need quiet? Do you need a connection with nature? Do you need to spend time in Scripture or prayer? Do you need to be in conversation with other close family or friends, perhaps, that you know and that you trust? I This is something we need to take time more than ever to ponder, and it's something that we as a church need to do now more than ever, because even in the church world, we are bombarded with all kinds of voices that tell us, well, we should do church this way or we should do church that way. So I invite you into that discernment. Take some time and reflect on how you hear the voice of God in your life. And let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in today. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you on Sunday and Wednesday. Bye.